have all this stuff in here now? Oh my gosh, what's that? Okay. I had fun with those filters. Those were cool. That's gonna drive me a little crazy though. Where's my pen? Hey y'all. Happy Black History Month. Happy Lovers Month. I've been really busy for the first 7 days of this month because I have 14 days of self-love going on. I thought because of Valentine's Day and Black History Month, I could combine those and create a self-love practice that includes yoga, affirmation, and meditation. And it's a daily practice that is set up every day for you to go along with, and it's 14 days, of course. I said that already. And it's available throughout the month of February. If you are interested in developing a self-love yoga practice, that is available on the website at www.zohaminslight.com. All right, so why am I on live today? Well, I haven't seen you guys since January, and I'm trying to be better about coming over to the space and utilizing it more. And since I'm doing a self-love yoga practice, I thought I'd talk about practicing self-love here, so there can be an extension of that practice, because I really think that we get really caught up in the holiday, right? We get really caught up in Valentine's Day and having a partner and getting things, gifts and stuff, and celebrating that whole thing. But we don't really get caught up in taking care of ourselves, which I really think, it being Black History Month, that should be the first thing that we should be thinking about. And then when you're thinking about love, I really think that if you are, hi David, I really think that if you are not able to create love for yourself, then how are you, doing that in a relational space? So I thought, why not talk about that this month and make sure that people have information in case they were wanting to start a self-love practice, or they were thinking about not having a partner and not being partnered and all that stuff, and thinking about how they can love on themselves, because that's really important. And I feel like we should be practicing more of that. I feel like if we practice more self-love, we have less issues in the world. If people were really focused on loving themselves, we would have a somewhat different society than we have right now. So the first thing I wanted to talk about in the self-love practice, and the self-love practice can look any way you want it. These are just my tips. I don't think you have to do this exactly the way that I'm doing, but I hope that these suggestions help you and guide you in the right direction that'll help you develop a deeper love for yourself. All right. So the first thing is creating a mantra, right? And a mantra is saying or something that you want to create to bring life, or to bring possibility into the space, into your space, right? So a mantra could be like an affirmation of sorts, like I trust myself to create the most loving experiences wherever I am. That could be a mantra or affirmation, or your mantra could be, I always do what I say I'm going to do. That's one of my favorite mantras. I do what I say I'm going to do. I do what I say I'm going to do. And I get that feedback a lot from people who I interact with. They always say, you always do what you say you're going to do, because that is one of my personal mantras, is that if I say it, I'm going to do it. So I'm very careful about my word. I'm very careful about using my word, because I'm very committed to my words becoming actions. So creating a personal mantra could help you develop self-love, because it helps you find out what your strengths are and work on your strengths. It also helps you be honest about what your, I don't want to say weaknesses, but work on the things that are not working, that you want to be better at. So you know that if you Yes, speaking things as though they are already here. Yes, yep, David. So yes, speaking of yourself in a well way, right? I think we have a lot of opportunities to speak of ourselves in not so well way, and the conversation you're having with yourself should be the conversation that you are hearing all the time, that you are referring back to all the time. And so that conversation should be one that is positive. It should be one that balances you out, right? You're working on your inner critic, getting rid of those self limiting beliefs, and working, empowering yourself by focusing on the things that you do well, focusing on the things that you feel good about yourself, and expanding on those things. It's not saying ignore the things that you don't do so well, but I find in my life when I focus on the things I do well, then it gives me the courage to work on the things that I don't do so well. It gives me the courage to step outside the box because, like, oh, okay, so I'm good at this and I don't have to explore this as much anymore. So let me go over here and try something that's, a little more difficult for me, or that I believe or have beliefs around that I'm not good at, right? So it makes me a little bit more courageous when I work on the things that I love. Also, making a safe space, and this is still building off of that mantra, building off of your affirmation space. Make a safe space for yourself. Making a safe space for yourself is all about releasing that inner critic, releasing those self limiting beliefs, releasing that negative self talk, releasing all of those things from your space. And you have to identify where those things came from, right? So if those things are things that you learned about yourself as a child from adults or other people who are around you and they gave you those belief systems, you have to ask yourself, do I need this belief system anymore? Do I want this belief system to be true anymore? Even if it is true, right? Say you've heard this criticism about yourself, it became a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Because you believed it so much, it became true. Do you want it to be true anymore? What would you like to put in that place? And becoming a safe space for yourself is very important, that your inner voice, your inner critic, is kind to you, is gentle with you, is willing to see the possibility, willing to see your expansion. And that means also the voices outside of you need to reflect the voice inside. So if you have people around you who do not support you and have a hard time saying nice things to you and saying kind things to you, and you want to maintain those relationships, you have to start saying, hey, I'm working on my inner critic. Sometimes some of the feedback you give me is critical in a way that is not supportive and helpful. If you can work on the way that you give me feedback. Now, if they hear that, now, because everybody can't hear that, right? So if they can hear that, then cool. But if they can't hear that, then you're going to the next space, which is beef up your boundaries. Get your boundaries together, honey. Get the word no, like get it feeling real good on your lips, on your tongue, like no. No is a complete sentence. Really learn how much space you get to give other people in your space, because that physical space tends to go into the emotional space, into the mental space, into the spiritual space. What you allow in your physical space tends to take over all those other spaces, which have a huge effect on the way that you move through the world. So shoring up those boundaries, working on saying no, working on being honest about what you want and don't want in your space, because that contributes to those self-limiting beliefs. That contributes to your inability to create well thoughts about yourself. All right. So one way I like to tell my clients when I work with them, when they're working on their boundaries, is to really go to the feeling. Go to the feeling that you have when you go into people pleaser mode or firefighter mode, like you're trying to put out the fire. What's the feeling there? Why is it there? What's behind it? Right? Most times I say, oh, I don't want to hurt other people's feelings. Oh, I want to make sure people feel good. Oh, I want to take care of people. Oh, I want to be liked, or I want to be nice, right? So you have this payoff that you're getting because your boundary is not good. So you have these payoffs that you're getting and your boundary is not good, but the payoff obviously isn't enough because you still feel crappy, right? Even though you're getting this payoff that you think you need, right? So then you have to rework your payoffs. What's the real payoff you want? Do you want to be respected? Do you want to be valued? Do you want to be loved in a certain type of a way? Do you want to be encouraged, right? Is that work on something that's going to actually be more valuable to you so that you can learn to implement your boundaries so you don't have to go into people pleaser mode or firefighter mode around people who overstep your boundaries so much. And just like really investigating, why is this here? Right? Why is this thing here? Why have I used this thing for so long? And what type of relationships do I normally use this in? Is this in my parental space? Is this in my romantic space? Is this in my workspace? Is it in all the spaces? And what payoffs am I looking for? And are those payoffs the payoffs that I actually want? Or are those the payoffs that I think I need because that's what I've been functioning off of since this original relationship that this people pleasing, firefighting behavior began? All right. So that's one way to work on your boundaries. Another way to work on your self-love space and to help yourself develop deeper is journaling. I know a lot of people do not really feel the journaling bug like I do. I have journals out the wazoo. I'm actually reading out of a journal right now. I journal. Oh, you said it's definitely bad at the workplace. Oh yeah, and it's. I know what you know. I'm gonna go back to that real quick. The boundary at the workplace is harder because you're not trying to make friends. You're just trying to get paid, right? So your payoff is I want to get paid, and I don't want to deal with these people on some level. I just want to do my job, right? So rework for that is I'm always going to go back to the employee rule book at work. Is this appropriate? Is this behavior appropriate for our workspace? I'm going to take it back to the rules because that way then it don't have to be about me. It don't have to be personal or nothing like that. I'm going to look for, does this behavior match up with what the mission statement of this space of work is? If you're creating a safe environment for everyone to do their work and blah, 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 you know how they like to say all that stuff. And I'm sitting up here and I'm saying, I don't feel safe or I don't feel heard or I don't feel valued. And I'm going to take it back to the mission statement. I'm going to take it back there. Because this is what y'all say y'all doing, and I'm telling you that's not how I feel. So I hope that helps, David. But that's literally how I used to handle that when I used to have to leave the house. I never brought my personal feelings into work. We always gonna go to what's the rules at work, and I'm gonna do that. And that means only crappy thing about that is this, that you always got to stick to the rules. You cannot bend the rules either because then that's going to be a catch-22 for you. So especially in workplaces where you know that you are not HR, especially in workplaces where you know that they be messy. I it's hard, but then it makes it hard for you to have certain types of relationships in spaces. But it's okay. I come here to work, and so that's what I'm gonna do. And that's even in my part-time consulting gig that I have now. That's how I carry on. What is expected of me, I do those things. Hi, bye, thanks for my check, and I'm out of here. Like, we're gonna keep it strictly professional. Because when you start to cross those lines and they get a little hazy, then people start to act really interesting. All right, so then I was talking about journaling as a way of creating self-love practice. And then journaling is also about reflection, right? It's really about emptying and being reflective. So the journaling is freeing up the space for you not to have to carry around all of the things that you're thinking, feeling with you all the time. This allows you to keep it somewhere, and it allows you to release it. And you can go back to it and look at it and read it and really be reflective about how you are experiencing yourself in the world in various places and see how your patterns look. What is your pattern? Patterns are a huge part of our lives, and journaling helps us reflect on our patterns. Do I have this pattern everywhere I go? Do I not take care of myself everywhere I go? Do I put people ahead of myself everywhere I go? And Journaling your experiences will tell you that. Journaling your experiences in your relationship, journaling your experiences, just a light journal in the morning, journaling your experience, how you wake up in the morning. Are you rushing to get out the house and barely doing the things that you need to do to take care of yourself? Are you having a lot of disagreements in relationships and spaces around you? That is all going to go in there, and you can be objective with that. You don't have to think about like judgment or anything like that. Yes, patterns equals habits. Yep. So just looking at your patterns help you figure out how you can modify some things that are working for you, or that are not working for you, or how you can keep things that are working for you, right? Um, and I know journaling is hard, so it's not always about writing as much as it is about getting it out. Also, I suggest, if you don't like to write, do a voice journal. We all have these fancy phones now, and you can download a what do you call that? A recording app to your phone. If you have iPhone, it already comes with that on there. You could just say, "This is what happened today. This is how I felt," and leave it at that. Just to get it out. It's a perfect space to just release yourself. The next thing I think you could work on is talking about your feelings. Now that we've journaled and we worked on our boundaries and we're creating a safe space for ourselves to be, and we have a mantra, we need somewhere to talk about ourselves. We need somewhere to express ourselves. And that could be a safe friend space that you have, or it could be therapy. We have all these ways to engage in therapy now, like virtual therapy and all these different spaces, and finding a good support group. Sometimes support groups, depending on what the nature of the thing is that you're working on, are available. Sometimes finding a space with your friends that you trust, having a space with your friends that you trust, or creating a relationship with a friend that you trust, where you ask permission, you both ask permission to share difficult things and help each other work through them. You know what I mean? Just be a listening space. But I do think that therapy is definitely a must-have, especially this day and time. There's so much going on. There's so much being pushed at us all at once. We're inundated with so much information. We are and still expected to move normally, to act like nothing's happening. Like, you're just supposed to go to work every day, make money, be a normal person. And there's like so much going on that's impacting us, even though it's not directly impacting us all the time. It's impacting us in every other way, indirectly. So I'd strongly suggest that creating a space where you can share. So however that looks for you. The last one I would say is do more of what you like. Do more of what you like, or what makes you feel good. Right? As long as, and I'm going to put a caveat on that. As long as it doesn't harm you or harm anyone else. What you do, doing more of what makes you feel good, and should not harm you, and it should not harm anyone else. It should be an activity that is positive. Turn on my do not disturb. It should be an activity that's positive for your overall well-being, and that helps you grow as a person. And it could be anything explorative. It could be reading. It could be doing crossword puzzles. It could be gardening. It could be running. It could be going to the gym. Anything that's going to help you expand and feel good about yourself, I say more power to it. And it's going to help you learn something more about yourself too. Doing more of what you like helps you learn more about yourself. It helps you learn more about yourself and how you view the world, because you can hear your thoughts. Most of the time we're doing things where we're in a focused space, and those are usually things that are used for mindfulness meditation. We're in a focused space when we're focusing on something. Our mind is free to just do its own thing and to observe. And we don't get that all the time, because we're constantly thinking and moving and thinking and moving and trying to figure things out. And having an activity that we love to do frees up our mind and allows our mind to get a little bit disconnect, and doesn't have to work as hard. So that is always going to be a plus. Doing more of what you like is always going to be a plus. Lastly, I'd say get you some movement. Get you some movement. Get you some movement. Do something that moves your body, that gets some endorphins in your body, that makes you, because endorphins makes us feel good, makes us feel happy, it gets our happiness meter up. Do something that makes your body move. Movement is important. And it's not about rigorous movement. It's just about movement, period, right? So it could be a brisk walk. It could be a jog. It could be jumping rope. It could be hula hooping. It could be skating. It could be any movement practice. It could be yoga. I love that. So it could be any movement practice, anything that gets your body into a space of movement. And movement helps us because we are on a planet that is always moving, right? We're rotating around something all the time. We're rotating around the sun. We're rotating, right? And when you get into a movement practice, you're doing that too. You're getting in touch with the energy of the planet. You're getting in touch with the energy that keeps the planet going. It's symbiotic in a way. And it's helpful to us. It's helpful to us in ways that we can't even understand yet. We can, we have all these, this is why you should do this and this is why you should do that, ads and everything. But we are not going to know everything of why something works. But I do know that those things do help. Those are my, that's what I do when I want to create a self-love. You can go even deeper into that, do nice things for yourself, buy yourself nice things. Those are the frou-frou things. And I think we're all really good at that. Buy yourself a nice outfit or take yourself out for dinner or something like that, or go on a trip. I feel like those things are not the hard things to implement. I think the harder things to implement are really the things that pertain to getting to the internal self and less of the external self. I think that we work really good at creating the look good, the fake it till you make it, the outer exterior way of loving ourselves. But building on the interior ways that we love ourselves will help that exterior shine even more, because it'll be actually reflective of the way that we actually feel and the way that we actually interact with ourselves, and not just a hope or a wish or a facade or, the fake it till you make it thing. All right. Y'all have any questions about any of the things? I just want to say them real quick. I said create a mantra. This is for practice, creating a self-love practice for yourself. Create a mantra or an affirmation for yourself. Make a safe space. I forgot one thing. Make a mood elevating playlist. How could I forget that? Music. Make a mood elevating playlist. We all have music that makes us feel good. You have a song. When you hear it, your body just like goes into dance. It goes into movement. You feel like you're on top of the world. Make a playlist with all those songs that get you up here and keep you up here. For those days when you're not feeling so great, for those days when you don't have the mantra or the mantra's not working, for those days when journaling is not working, for those days when you don't feel safe, for those days when you haven't been good at implementing your boundaries, music always works. Music is so powerful, and we can use it for so many different things. You can use it to motivate. You can use it to elevate. You can use it for so many different things. And so an elevation playlist or a playlist that lifts you up. Sometimes my playlist is all over the place. It has gospel, it has love music, it has rock, it has jazz, it has rap, it has everything on there, because so many different songs bring out so many different things for me. And of course, sometimes they're attached to moments in my life when I was really feeling really great, and I, was tapped into myself in a way where I felt like I was at the top of something. Today, I'm trying to remember what song it was. I cannot remember what song it was. Sometimes I just get an inkling in my head and I hear a song and I spontaneously bust out into that song because I know that's my spirit telling me that it needs that vibration. I wish I could tell y'all what song it was today because I was walking to the trash can and it just came over me and I was just started singing it and it was just like it changed. I wasn't having a bad day. I was having a good day. I was having an all right day, but it like elevated the day. It changed the tempo of the day, and it pushed me into a space where it was like, okay, you got to get on YouTube and do this, play this video today, like you've been saying you're gonna do all week. Because all week I kept saying I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. But here I am today because of that energy of that song pushed me into the space where it was like, accomplish your goals, do what you say you're gonna do, right? So yeah, that's right. Create a mantra, make a safe space, make a mood elevating playlist, journal, beef up your boundaries, talk about your feelings, get some therapy or a safe space to share, and do more of what you love. All right. So those are some self-love tips, some ways to practice self-love that'll help you elevate your space, elevate yourself, and help you heal. And no, you cannot go wrong with 90s R&B. I really wish I could remember what that song was because now that's going to plague me for the rest of the night. But it was a good moment and I'm going to let it be what it be. Do y'all have any questions? Y'all have any tips for me? Y'all have anything you want to share? David, thank you for all the comments and participation. Thank you for always being so kind. And I really appreciate it. I really do. This channel is, I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but my channel got to this space and then people start reporting it and now just it's stuck there, and I guess this is where I am. And so I try not to worry about the growth on this platform, just do what I do everywhere else. For a while, honestly, being stunted, being blocked, being shadow banned, and they would say on all the other apps, it really bothered me. But now I'm just like, it is what it is. As long as the people who want to get something from it really doesn't matter to me. All right. So that's it. That's all I got for you guys. I hope y'all have a beautiful rest of the week. And if I don't see you guys before Valentine's Day, I hope you have a beautiful Lover's Day and an awesome rest of Black History Month. Hopefully I'll make it back before the end of the month. And if you want to hang out with me, there's 14 days of self-love. It's the yoga practice that is happening. It's a yoga, meditation, and affirmation practice that is available for the month of February, as well as the couples yoga February 10th for the lovers. Check it out. It's on my website. That's in the link. And I'll holler at y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Bye, y'all.